Welcome back to Chamber Connect. I'm your host, Deb Newman, and we have a wonderful guest joining us, Melissa Huston. Melissa serves as the executive director for an amazing organization serving the greater Bangor region, Habitat for Humanity. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to finally be here. We've been trying to connect for a little bit.
Yeah, I know. And you and I have worked together, known each other for a very long time, and
Done some radio together.
What?
We've done some radio together.
We've done some
past,
radio
yeah.
together. I know. No, we're doing. Isn't that fun? We've gone full circle. Habitat for Humanity. How long have you been the executive director?
I have been there for just over 3 years, and I can't believe it's gone by as fast as it has, but I've learned a lot. It was a new area for me, but I have always admired the mission, and now that I am working inside the mission, I have tremendous respect for everything that goes into the mission of affordable housing.
Well, that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
For you listening, if you've heard about Habitat for Humanity, but you're not really sure about everything that the organization does,
Yeah.
let's start with what is the mission?
I appreciate that because there are some misconceptions about Habitat that I always like to clear up anytime I have the opportunity to speak with folks. But our mission is to be in service to our neighbors in our community. And we do that through affordable housing. We do that either through building a new home or helping folks that are already homeowners with some repairs or accessibility issues that they might have in their home. It is two great ways to address the ever-increasing housing crisis in our state and across the country.
And there's such a need for housing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and there has been some great momentum around recognizing the crisis and some funding allocated for new housing units. I will say that most of that has gone toward like multi-unit rental houses, and Habitat really tries very hard to focus on single-family residences, and because our mission is home ownership, we are really trying to help folks step out of their current situation and level up to a place where they can actually own their own home and enjoy the benefits and the stability of having their own home that eliminates the worry of increasing rents or whether they're going to have to move or not having control over the maintenance of their own homes. So it really is an opportunity for someone to get in, have access to affordable housing, and use that as a tangible asset as an investment for the future.
And let's talk about how one would go about applying
Sure.
to be
Well,
part
so
of that.
one of the misconceptions I like to dispel is most people have a general idea of how Habitat works, but there's the impression that we get all the materials donated, we build it with volunteer labor, and then we give away the house for free. Unfortunately, none of that is true. We might get a few donations towards or discounts towards the materials, not as much as we've enjoyed in the past. The cost of construction materials has really limited what our vendors can provide. Their margins are pretty tight themselves. We do still utilize volunteer labor in as much as we can, but I'll circle back to that about how we actually do build our houses. Unfortunately, we don't give away our houses for free. And I really like to hone in on this point because it really does a disservice to the homeowners that we do partner with. They do have a mortgage. They do have a monthly payment. It's just that Habitat works with a homeowner to help them connect with a lender that qualifies them for a mortgage that they can afford. And then Habitat bridges the gap between what they can afford and the value of the home. So it really is a true partnership. And a real opportunity for someone that wouldn't qualify for a traditional retail mortgage out in the community.
There's a lot of good information on your website, habitatbangor.org. If you click on Buy a Home, there's a section or whole page that talks about how to apply.
Sure.
And those requirements. So all of the details are right there too.
Yeah, and so we really do, that is a great starting point, is just to go onto our website. We have a very brief questionnaire that we ask everyone that applies to, or that everyone's just inquiring to fill that out, because it gives us some tangible information as a starting point to know how to steer them in our conversation. But we're primarily, because some of the requirements are, we are the local affiliate for the greater Bangor area. So folks that we work with have to have lived in this area lived or worked in this area for at least 12 months. They need to be able to qualify for an affordable mortgage. So that gets into your credit score and those types of things. And if there's any issues there, it doesn't necessarily rule you out. It just gives us a talking point to say, okay, what do we need to do to get you ready for home ownership? And then the third is that we do ask all of our homeowners to contribute sweat equity in building the home. And the reason behind that is we really want folks to have this opportunity to get to know the community. And when you're working side by side from other volunteers in the community, it's wonderful to see some relationships form and blend, and they may get to know some of their neighbors right on their street, or just other folks that they recognize out in the community that really helps them put down those roots and be proud of being a member of the community that they're living in now.
I love that, and plus it's yours. It really feels like it's yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
How many homes are you able to build in a year, for example?
Well, we do have limited capacity, and homes are expensive, turns out.
Yeah.
And so we have a significant fundraising that we have to do every year, but we are committed to doing one house a year. And we have been able to stay on track with that with a wonderful partnership I wanted to highlight with Eastern Maine Community College. We actually partner with their building, construction, and fine woodworking department. I love the full name. And the students actually build our house on campus during this academic year. And at the end of the school year, we have the house moved from campus over to a prepared house site. And it's about 80% complete at that point. And that's when we bring in some community volunteers to do the finish work. And we do have to use licensed trades folks for the finished electrical and plumbing, that type of thing. But it's just been a wonderful collaboration. The students get real hands-on job development, workforce development skills, that they're building in real time. They get to meet the family that we're working with, and they really see the end result of really changing someone's life. So we have loved that. It's been a great way for us to have a steady supply of labor, and that's been a real challenge for probably all the nonprofits in the area, but COVID really did a number on being able to engage community members in an in-person way. And traditionally, a lot of our volunteers have been retirees because they have the time and the flexibility. But when COVID hit, those retirees was an age group that was first ones told not to gather on a communal site. And it gave them an opportunity to kind of say, well, maybe we'll pass the hammer, literally, to a younger generation. So this younger generation happens to be through the community college, and it's just been so fun to watch those relationships stay in place. The electrician that we actually use is a graduate from Eastern Maine Community College, and it's just a lovely full circle moment where he really got his start through that program and has been able to build his own business as an electrician out in the community. And I love that he keeps that connection, pun intended, by staying involved with Habitat on our homes.
That is so great.
Yeah,
that's a win-win.
Shout out to Craig Hatch.
It must be such a moment when the house is moved. Do all the students come together and
unfortunately it's after the school has it's after the school year. One of the things I've learned the most about building homes is it is one big Rubik's Cube jigsaw puzzle, and so many different hands literally touch the house, and it's a scheduling phenomenon that it actually comes together. So the house is complete and right now and sitting on campus at Eastern Maine. We are building on 13th Street in Bangor, and the foundation is in. We are waiting for the final slab of the foundation to be poured and cured before our set crew can be scheduled to actually move it over. But when that day comes, it's really fun for everyone involved, including the neighbors that leave to go to work in the morning, and there's just a foundation. When they come back at the end of the day, there's a whole house that appears to be sitting there. But watching that is like watching a big arcade game where they bring a crane over, pick it up, the house comes apart in two pieces, and they set it on that, and they do it all within 3 or 4 hours. And it's kind of little miracle of habitat, watching it come together. It's a lot of fun.
Let's talk about Restore.
Sure.
When you came in here, we were talking about all of the goodies you have.
Big sale going on at the Restore this weekend.
Big sale. So I'm a big fan of the Restore.
We love it when Deb comes through because we always know she's got a good eye for stuff, and we love it when she finds something that that she can use as a little treasure. Yeah.
You never know. It's
never
a
know.
treasure hunt. And I also like to donate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how does Restore, and again, if you're not familiar with the Restore, it's located where?
It's located at 378 Harlow Street in Bangor, just down from the public library in the same shopping plaza as Goslin's Donuts. I always say everybody seems to know where Goslin's is. And it really is an extension of Habitat. We use it oftentimes as sort of our first introduction to the community. That's how they first learn about Habitat. But it has just become an additional program, and we do view it as a program because what we do is we accept in donations of household furniture and household items, appliances, and building supplies, and we make them available at a reasonable price out in the community. But we do resell them, and it is a revenue generator for us. We use those proceeds to help cover some of our administrative costs and use it as unrestricted funding for where we need to fill in the gaps in our building programs. But it truly serves so many different touch points. One, it keeps things out of the landfill, which we are all about minimizing our footprint and being resourceful. There are many useful items in there that we do tend to use around our build sites. But more importantly, we make these things available to folks at affordable prices for their own home projects or their own home furnishings. And then on the other side, as you mentioned with donating, we get so many calls for folks who are helping a family member downsize. And it's just always one of those delicate things. You're usually more focused on the well-being of that family member and really don't have time to deal with all their stuff. We don't do a full clean out or anything like that. But if they do have some designated pieces that they want to make sure do go to good use, we do offer free pickup to anyone in the greater Bangor area, and are very grateful for those donations. It is really fun to see what comes in and goes right back out. We have an amazing Facebook page that highlights things that come in on a daily basis and highlights sales that we're having and things that we might be on the lookout for. So it's a great way to help out.
It is a good Facebook page, and I can't tell you how many times myself or somebody I've been working with is like, "Oh, I gotta go. I'll be back."
We tend to have a little bit of an uptick around the lunch hour, and I think that's why people are like, "I'll be right back," come right back. Yeah. No, it's really great. And if there is something you see, and we do accept payment over the phone, but we do encourage where it is used items for folks to come in and make sure that it's the right size and it's exactly what they had in mind. It just makes it easier for everyone. But if there's something you've had your eye on for a while or know exactly what you're looking for, don't be afraid to give the store a call and see if it's something we can't handle over the phone for you.
So we have just a few minutes left, and let's talk about other ways that people can get involved in supporting Habitat for Humanity. And again, if you're just tuning in, we're talking with Melissa Huston, who is the executive director. Volunteering, donations.
Yes. Absolutely. So I wanted to circle back to one of the other misconceptions that's out there. Most people associate Jimmy Carter with President Jimmy Carter with our organization. And most people think that he was the founder. He was not the founder. He was a regular volunteer, and all of his service came together after his presidency. So he's a beautiful example of how every single person can contribute something. Our website will also put you in touch with how to volunteer. And you were asking how many houses we built. This year is our 30th house, so it is a really special milestone for us. And we'd like to have as many people as involved. We do have limited times where folks can volunteer, but the good news is we do have plans. Perhaps I'll come back another time and tell you about our future projects, but we have, we know that our next several builds will be right in the Bangor area, so we are very excited about having that. and want to just continue to encourage folks to apply for our homeownership program. It is a little bit of a lengthy process, so it's never too soon to start. If you're not ready for this particular current build, there's some things a lot of folks need to work on before they're eligible for the next one. So we're happy to talk to you at any point.
HabitatBangor.org. All of the information, Melissa, that you just shared is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're interested in home ownership or volunteering or the restore, ways to give, check it out, HabitatBangor.org. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Connect.
Yes.
It was so fun. I learned a few new things. And we're going to wrap this up so I can go to restore.
Okay, sounds good. Meet you there.
Thanks again, Melissa Huston. Thank you for joining us on Chamber Connect. I'm your host, Deb Newman. We'll catch you next time.